I know I'm a little bit late on this one. The documentary came out 9 months ago. And since then we've seen the inevitable backlash from Michael Jackson fans and a legal battle between the Jackson estate and HBO. Anyway, my impressions of Dan Reed's work. Very disturbing for a number of reasons. Listening to Wade Robson and James Safechuck, as well as their family members, and then taking in everything about it, thinking it over. More than any other emotion, it's just tragically sad. With Safechuck, even more than Robson, I felt. I was listening to a broken man, someone who carried around this horrible secret with him for a long time, and unfortunately he seems to blame himself to some degree for the abuse he suffered. Poor guy. Just from the documentary I found his mother to be really troubling, and Robson's mother also. The naivety, the being sucked in by Jackson's seduction. I mean, I'm not a parent myself, so maybe not qualified to speak on this too much, but there is a failure of parental duty that's happened here. Who in their right minds lets their kids sleep in the same bed with a grown man, not family, alone, behind closed doors, their own private suites, night after night? I get that the families were groomed by Jackson. It wasn't just the kids. I just find it difficult to take in that alarm bells weren't ringing sooner and louder. Yeah. What about Michael Jackson himself? What's to say? He was a manipulative predator, a paedophile who preyed on little boys, someone who used his wealth and influence to exploit and abuse vulnerable children. And he's done untold emotional and psychological damage, irreparable damage. The abused became the abuser. That's what I think. You will probably never convince the fanboys and the fangirls, though, who will not hear a bad word said about their idol, Saint Michael. And of course his family, as well as people like Macaulay Culkin and Corey Feldman, will continue to defend his name and legacy. I understand, I get it. Yeah. Before I watched this Dan Reed documentary, I was already of the view that Jackson had been a child molester. Yeah. Wade Robson talking about how his, I don't know if it was his wife or girlfriend, and his older brother, the way they reacted to him finally revealing the abuse, when it was clear that holding it all in was destroying his life. His descriptions of their physical reactions, that was very moving. That will stay with me, I think. And this is a guy, Robson, who defended Jackson in court, even under intense pressure from the prosecution lawyer, I understand. He stood firm. And it took him a long time to realise or come to terms with what had happened to him, starting when he was just 7 years old. That the abuse, that it was abuse, didn't register with him until he was into his adulthood. Yeah. Another disturbing aspect, the Neverland Ranch itself, the complex. Yeah, I found it very creepy. An elaborate fun world used to lure children and their families in. So let me know what you think in the comments about this documentary, assuming that you've seen it. Yeah. And I will see you later, folks. Take care.